Once upon a time, in a kingdom that lay between the silver-tipped mountains and the endless sapphire sea, there was a princess unlike any other. Her name was Selaria, and she was known throughout the lands not only for her extraordinary beauty but also for her extraordinary habit. From the time she was very young, Selaria had eaten pearls. Real, luminous pearls, smoothed by the ocean and kissed by the morning sun. Each day, she would rise before dawn and take a small handful, savoring their subtle sweetness and the strange strength they gave her. No one knew why she did this, not even the servants who tended her chambers, but it was whispered that the pearls were more than food, they were magic, binding her to life in ways that could not be seen. Selaria's father, King Veldrin, was a man feared by all. His temper was as sharp as the swords in his armory, his desires as insatiable as the seas themselves. He loved wealth, power, and control above all else, and the pearl-eating habit of his daughter both fascinated and enraged him. He saw in her a potential treasure, a living vessel through which the magic of the ocean could be harnessed for his own ambitions. Unlike ordinary kings, he did not merely want the pearls, they were the symbol of the power he wished to wield over the entire world. Despite her father's scrutiny, Selaria was gentle and kind-hearted. She did not eat pearls out of vanity or greed but because the magic they contained gave her clarity of mind, courage, and insight. She often wondered whether her unusual gift was a blessing or a burden. When she looked at the people of the kingdom, many of whom suffered under her father's harsh rule, she felt a pang of guilt and sorrow. She had everything she could desire, yet there was a part of her life that felt incomplete, shadowed by the cruelty of her father. One evening, as the sky blushed in shades of crimson and gold, King Veldrin summoned Selaria to his throne room. His dark eyes glimmered with ambition. "Daughter," he said, his voice cold as steel, "you have grown strong and radiant. Those pearls you consume, those treasures of the sea, they are not yours alone. I command that you bring them to me each day. From this moment onward, they shall serve me and my ambitions, not your fancy whims." Selaria bowed, trembling but defiant in spirit. "Father, the pearls, they are a part of me. To take them would take a part of my life itself." Veldrin's lips curled into a cruel smile. "Your life is insignificant compared to the power I desire. Obey, or your beauty and gifts will mean nothing." That night, Selaria lay awake, her mind racing. She could not bear the thought of her life, her magic, and the pearls being enslaved to her father's tyranny. For hours, she watched the moonlight ripple across the ocean from her tower window, and she made a decision. At dawn, she would leave the palace and seek a place where she could use her gifts freely, not as a tool for greed, but as a force for good. Before the sun rose, Selaria packed a small satchel with a handful of pearls, the ones she had collected for herself, and left quietly through the secret corridors known only to her. Her loyal maid, Lyra, who had served her since childhood, accompanied her, as did a small white dove named Leora, which had been Selaria's companion and confidant. Together, they ventured into the forests beyond the palace, where trees with silver leaves swayed in the gentle morning breeze and the air smelled of salt and magic. The journey was not easy. The forests were dense, and wild creatures prowled unseen, yet Selaria felt the pearls inside her sustain her. Their magic gave her strength to leap over rocks, courage to face sudden storms, and clarity when the path seemed lost. She and Lyra traveled for days, surviving on the pearls' nourishment and their wits alone. The princess began to understand the full extent of her gift. Not only could she endure the pearls' magic, but she could also channel it to bring life and health wherever she went. On the 5th night of their journey, they came upon a hidden valley, bathed in soft twilight and filled with glowing flowers in every color imaginable. The river that ran through the valley shimmered with silver, reflecting the moon and stars as if the sky itself had descended to touch the earth. It was a place of serenity, untouched by human greed, and it seemed alive with ancient magic. As Selaria stepped into the valley, a gentle voice called to her. "You are the one who carries the heart of the ocean," it said. From behind a cluster of luminous trees emerged a turtle, its eyes deep pools of gold and wisdom. "I have watched you, child of pearls. Your father seeks to twist your gifts for his own ambitions, but you may restore balance to the world. Selaria felt the weight of destiny settle on her shoulders. She had never imagined her journey would lead to such a place, nor that the pearls she consumed daily would carry her toward a purpose far greater than mere survival. In that valley, she learned to channel the magic of the pearls not only for herself but for others. She healed sick plants, nurtured injured animals, and learned the songs of the wind and sea, which told stories of distant lands and forgotten times. But word of Selaria's escape and the magic she wielded soon reached King Veldrin. Enraged, he assembled an army and marched toward the hidden valley, determined to seize the pearls and crush his daughter. Yet when he arrived, he found that the valley was no longer a simple hidden glade. The rivers glowed with life, the trees pulsed with energy, and creatures of the forest, foxes, birds, and other magical beings, stood protectively around Selaria. "You dare defy me?" Veldrin roared, drawing his sword. "Give me the pearls, girl, or face the consequences." Selaria stood tall, the pearls around her glowing with radiant light. "Father, these pearls are not yours to command. They are life itself. They belong to no one who seeks only greed and power." The magic of the pearls surged through the valley. Vines of light erupted from the earth, wrapping around the king's soldiers, while the rivers rose and shimmered, reflecting the truth of the princess's heart. Veldrin, blinded by fury, tried to strike her, but the pearl's power lifted him from his feet, leaving him suspended and powerless. For the first time, the king felt fear, not the fear he instilled in others, but the fear of seeing his own cruelty reflected in the brilliance of another's purity. Realizing that he could not win, Veldrin fled, never to threaten Selaria again. The princess, now free, returned to her palace not to reclaim a throne, but to restore her kingdom. She shared the pearl's magic with her people, healing the sick, enriching the soil, and teaching wisdom and kindness. The kingdom flourished under her guidance, becoming a beacon of hope and magic for distant lands. Years passed, and tales of the pearl-eating princess spread far and wide. Travelers came to see her not for her beauty, but for her courage, wisdom, and the kindness that shone in every act. And every morning, Selaria continued her ritual of eating pearls, not for vanity, but to remind herself of the journey she had endured, the strength she carried within, and the love that guided her heart. In a world once shadowed by greed and cruelty, the princess had shown that courage, wisdom, and the magic of compassion could triumph over any tyranny. And so, the kingdom of Aquavel thrived, its waters sparkling like liquid sapphire, a testament to the power of a brave girl who ate pearls and followed her heart.